One Friday of every month, Alexander Yosha Bodnar would host a Hungarian feast at his restaurant called Yosha Corner. Everything at the Pittsburgh restaurant was made from scratch, including the bread, the kielbasa, and along with the various types of paprikash on the menu, Bodnar also served seke kapotsta, or what Alex would call Transylvanian goulash. And Lawman's here, and he's going to show us how to make this very interesting and great dish.
Bridget, the only thing scary about Transylvanian goulash is how scary good it is. For me, stews, they're like the culinary equivalent of a homemade quilt.
Oh, comfy.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
This particular one has braised pork, aromatics, warm spices, a duo of tangy sour cream, sauerkraut,
Ooh,
and it finishes with a bright herb.
I am very intrigued.
So let's make some goulash.
Still a little scared though.
You'll be all right. So to start, I'm gonna prep some vegetables.
Okay.
I have one onion here, I'm gonna chop this fine. One onion. Next, we have bell pepper. Just gonna stem, seed it, and chop this fine as well. 2 ribs of celery. And last but not least, just 1 tomato.
A single tomato.
And we're just gonna chop this.
Okay.
So next, we're gonna prep our pork. Here I have 1 3.5 pound boneless pork butt. It's also known as a Boston butt. It's perfect for stews. The collagen breaks down because of the low, slow cooking, becomes super tender. It's gonna be delicious.
All right. Yep.
So I'm just gonna pat it dry. And you wanna cut it into 1.5 inch pieces. Trusty ruler here.
With the fat cap and everything.
Since this has a really big fat cap, I'm gonna trim some of it off.
Okay. It can be hard to tell though before you cut into the pork butt. Sometimes you can't tell exactly how thick that fat cap is.
Exactly. So you don't want a fat cap that's more than 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, which is why we're trimming this one off.
Gotcha. So you cut your planks, now strips.
And you wanna cut it into 1.5 inch pieces.
We do this a lot with stews where we'll cut the stew meat into super large pieces because they're going to fall apart as they stew and braise. If you start off with teeny tiny pieces, you kind of end up with hash.
I don't know if you're gonna be attacking vampires or anything, but this is a very hearty stew.
Why would I attack my own people?
So now that we have the pork cut, I'm gonna season it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper.
Okay.
And we want to develop a lot of flavor for this stew. So we're going to brown the meat to develop some fond.
Okay.
You don't want to put it all in the pot at the same time because instead of browning, it's going to steam.
Right.
I have a Dutch oven here with 1 tablespoon of veg oil in it. And we're going to heat it to medium-high heat till it's just smoking, and then we're going to add our meat.
All right, sounds great.
We're going to cook it for a total of 8 minutes, about 2 minutes per side. Then I'm going to take this out. Then we're going to brown the second batch the same way. So the second batch is ready to come out of the pot.
Okay. Beautiful. Oh, look at all that fond there in the bottom of the pot. That's pork flavor.
That's what I was gonna say, that fond is flavor. Now we're gonna reduce the heat to medium, add our vegetables. Remember, it's onion, bell pepper, 2 celery ribs, and some tomato. Along with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna cook this 8 to 10 minutes until the vegetables soften and the liquid is evaporated, scraping up some of the brown bits. It's been about 9 minutes, the vegetables are softened. This is when we're gonna really punch up the flavor. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of paprika. Now you don't wanna add hot or smoked Spanish paprika because that's not the flavor profile we're going for here.
So this is just regular sweet paprika.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then 1 tablespoon of caraway seeds
Very interesting.
and 2 minced garlic cloves. You're gonna stir and cook for about 1 minute until it's fragrant, scraping up all that fond. So this is the part in the stew where a lot of times you add a broth, but instead of that, we're gonna add 3 cups of water. And we're adding water because we want all these flavors to come through without any hindrance.
Well, I love this because the pork is going to have a chance to shine, but the caraway and the paprika, you really want that to be the star of the show. That's looking gorgeous.
Now we're gonna add our pork and the juices. You're just gonna bring this to a simmer. It's just come up to a simmer. I'm gonna cover. We're gonna put it in a 325-degree oven on the lower middle rack, and we're gonna cook for 1 hour. It's been an hour. Now we're gonna add 2 cups of rinsed and drained sauerkraut. We're adding it because we want some bright flavor that's gonna help balance out that rich pork. If you didn't rinse it, it would be too bright and it would be competing with the pork.
Okay.
And we're adding it toward the end of the cook time because we don't want it to cook so long that you don't get any of that flavor.
Okay.
Just give it a stir, mix it in there.
Oh, that smells good.
Now we're gonna cook it for another 30 minutes until the pork is nice and tender. So it's been 30 minutes. Time to check the tenderness of the pork.
Okay. Oh.
My favorite way to do this is just take a fork, take a little piece. If you can break it with the fork, you know it's tender. Then give it a taste test, you know it seasons well. This is perfect. So before we eat, I'm just gonna skim a little bit of the fat off the top just so it's not eating fatty.
This is actually not bad. You did a great job of trimming that pork.
Thank you. So now let's give you some.
All right.
Last but not least, gonna give you a little dollop of sour cream.
Please.
This is also gonna balance out that rich pork and it's gonna help accentuate that sauerkraut that's already in there.
I'm digging those little dollops.
And then a little brightness with some fresh dill.
That is perfect.
Let's dig in.
All right. That is tender. Oh, this is so good. The pork and the sauerkraut together, amazing. You get that pickly bite there. Gorgeous. I'm switching over to a spoon though.
That paprika, it's nice and warm. Dare I say comforting. When you can cut the meat with a spoon, you know it's tender.
Incredibly tender. And it was in for an hour and then 30 minutes. That's actually a fast stew.
Good thing there's only a little bit of garlic in there.
Just a little bit. Oh, I'll get you back, don't worry.
Just enough to keep you honest.
If you'd like to make this beautiful stew from Pittsburgh, build a flavor base for the stew by browning pork, bloom the paprika for a minute with the vegetables, and stir in rinsed sauerkraut at the end for a pickly finish. So from Cook's Country all the way from Pittsburgh, it's Transylvanian goulash. Sauerkraut is killer. Get it?
This is scary great.
They're scary great. Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.